Okay, I'll entertain a motion to exit executive session. Motion been made.
Second.
Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Lombardi?
Yes.
Mrs. Charette?
Yes.
Mr. Romano?
Yes.
Mrs. Joannis?
Yes.
Mr. Jones?
Yes.
Mrs. Mayo?
Yes.
Mrs. Vada? Motion carries 6-0.
I'll entertain a motion to seal the record.
So moved.
Motion been made. Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. Pledge of allegiance. Okay, just for the record, no vote will be taken in executive session, and I'll entertain a motion to continue that matter to the next scheduled meeting. Motion been made. Second. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? The ayes have it. We have a presentation from Justin and Associates.
I'd like to introduce Mr. Justin Martin. He's with Martin and Associates, and they are the firm that we contracted with to revise, review, and advise us on our communication plan, our marketing, our CTV reach out. There's a whole host of services. So I've asked them to come tonight to present a parent survey that his firm administered, and for you to take a look at the results.
Thanks everybody, thanks for having me here tonight.
Thank you.
It's really neat to be here, particularly to share these results with you all. We work with about 40 different school systems right now across New England and in some parts of the Southeast. And as I had said to the superintendent when we first went over these results a few weeks ago, I have not seen such strong results like this in any community that I can remember in recent years. In terms of what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight is a gap analysis. And for those of you who are familiar with marketing terms, this may bore you a little bit, but for those of you who are not, it might be kind of interesting. Typically, we'll do a survey like this, and we'll measure what parents' experience, what a parent's expectation is of the school system, and compare it to what their experience is. And when you look at that expectation and the experience, if there's a narrow gap, that means we're hitting the mark, we're doing really well. If there's a wide gap, then that's something to be concerned about. Sometimes with those gap analysis, it's something where, and the example I'll use tonight, which is a no reference to North Smithfield at all, is that you could have something where it comes back that parents have really high expectations for a STEM program at the high school, and their experience is that the STEM program is terrible. And you bring those results back, and the school system, the leadership team, and the school committee looks at that and says, wait a minute, we have a great STEM program. We just won all these awards. In fact, our teacher just won a national award. And then it's easily identifiable that, we have a communications issue. We're going to focus on some school-to-home community relations and make sure that parents are aware of the STEM program at the high school. Other times, you get those same results back. We meet with the school committee and the leadership team and say, yeah, the staff we have there isn't that good, and we've got a really bad curriculum. We really got to change the way we're approaching that. So that's kind of the two sides of how that gap analysis works. Fortunately for you guys here, and I'll show you start with the first one, is that there are about 20 of these questions that are links to each other. The first one being, how important is the quality of the teaching staff in the school? And as you can see, all of your parents really think that this is very important. What's a pleasant surprise on this is that you've got, when you ask the parents how do they consider the quality of the teaching staff in their own school, you see that 85% of them are in that satisfied to very satisfied category. And when you look at the little gap on the side where you see almost a 3.97 for what the expectation is, but their experience is 3.22, that's actually really close. It may seem far if you haven't seen these things before, but anytime you're within 1 point or within 0.75, that's a really good mark to hit. So clearly your parents know that you've got a good staff here, that they respect the staff, and the staff is proving to the parents that they're a pretty solid and talented teaching staff. We asked the parents also how important is it for the ability of teachers to prepare students for future success. And you see again that parents feel this is extremely important. When we look at how satisfied are you with the ability of your child's teachers to prepare students for future success, again you see 50% are satisfied, 31% are very satisfied. Again, is there a little bit of improvement there? Sure, but that's such a narrow mark, and whenever you can get 85 or 82% of your parents satisfied or very satisfied, it's a really good indicator of the quality of the school system. And also, this also relates back to what in the business world is sort of your brand. You know, when you expect something and it's delivered, it's a really strong brand. When you expect something and it's an underperforming or under-delivered, that's a really poor brand. North Smithfield School brand is quite strong. Challenging students at all levels and abilities. Again, you see that parents feel this is a very important attribute of any school system, and when you ask them how they're satisfied with their school system's ability to challenge students, again, you see that most, if not all, of your parents are satisfied and very satisfied. School building facilities in relation to student learning. Again, you see that they understand that it's important, very important, but it's from these results, you'll see that they recognize that it's not quite as important about how brand new the school is. What's really important is how good is the teacher in the classroom. That's what these kind of show us in this form. And again, you'll see that most of your parents feel that the facility is average to above average, excellent, and that's really where you want to be. And this is one of the unique ones. Granted, it's facilities. I've never seen that the parents' experience is higher than their expectations. So again, they're pleased with the quality of your school buildings. How important is it for teachers and other adults to know the children in their class on a personal level? This is often something that private schools focus on. It's sort of that the teacher will really know the student really well. And when you look at the results, you see that there is some improvement here, but overall, when I look at these numbers, it tells me that 66 to 70% feel that the teachers know the students well to very well. You're in a pretty good area there as well. Arts programs, visual and performing, how important are they in inclusion? You'll see that parents recognize that 85% here think that's important. And you've got almost the same number, that's 69% satisfied, 16% very satisfied. Again, really, really close. These are not numbers that we typically see. We'll usually see these where you might have the weighted average on question 6 of 3.5, and the delivery of those services in the question 16 more 2.5 or sometimes 2. So you've got a really knowledgeable and satisfied parent base here, which all of you is probably not that big of a surprise. But when we see these outside of North Smithfield, you should all feel pretty good about this. Obviously, your music and chorus programs here are quite strong, and that's also reflected in how satisfied parents are with the music and chorus programs. I mean, when you get almost, yes, it's 42%, when you think you've almost got 50% of your parents that are very satisfied with the music and chorus programs, that's a really high mark. After school activities, again, you see that they feel that they're very important, and when you look at the experience here, again, they're satisfied, very satisfied. There's no cause for concern. Field trips, again, you see that parents recognize that these are important, but not nearly as important as perhaps they were 20 or 30 years ago. And when you see what the level of satisfaction are with the field trips offered, North Smithfield, you've got 60% satisfied and 10% very satisfied. And we look again at that weighted average of 3.06 and 2.75. You're right where your parents are expecting it to be. And as an aside to this, it's kind of funny because this creates a lot less work for me to help the superintendent with. You've got really strong stuff. You don't need that much help. We go to communications questions. How satisfied are you with North Smithfield School Department's efforts to keep you as a parent informed? You see that their parents are satisfied, but if you look at the other numbers, there's a little bit of room for improvement there where they're neither satisfied nor dissatisfied. At 23%, I'd like that number to kind of be a little bit smaller and have them be more in the satisfied category.
So can I just?
Sure.
The other questions, the first few questions didn't have to be neither satisfied, so they had to go one way.
We want to push them on that. Yes.
But then how come on these you do?
It's a larger curve on these, and because of lost my train of thought on that. We want to see if there's a if the neutrality of this question, we want to see if parents are like, meh, you know, it's good, it's bad, doesn't matter. That's kind of where we're going with this, with that kind of question. With the other ones, we want to push them one way or the other. School-related information, where do they go? They go to the website first. I know the superintendent and leadership team made a lot of improvements in the website in the last couple of months, and I continue to make those improvements. You also see that their proclivity to email teachers or staffs or call the school too. And you know, you think 15 years ago, the numbers would have been we call the school first, and now it's go to the website and email. How effective are North Smithfield's information resources, websites, brochures, social media? You see there that you get the somewhat effective at 52%. We'd like that number to be more than very effective, ideally, but these are not uncommon results for school systems of this size. And these are not bad results either. How often would you prefer to receive school-related updates and information from the superintendent and school committee level? Certainly you see that they're as often as they're being considered. But if you look at the bigger number, a monthly update to a bi-weekly update is probably where this is pushing towards. And I talked with the superintendent and also with one of the school committee members on the fact that if you were able to figure out a way to just send home 3 or 4 updates, you know, from your school committee meetings to email out to your parents that we voted on this, this, and this, it'll really go a long way in keeping them informed on what you're doing. Unfortunately, you know, with the collapse of the news industry, particularly in Northern Ireland, you know, the Providence Journal used to have a bureau, there used to be a lot more reporters of these things. There really is a void there for getting this information out. And when you want to make sure that your parents are keeping track of what you're all doing, not a lot of work for any of you, but if you can have a way for your school committee chair to send out on behalf of the entire school committee, you know, just a 4 bulleted list of things that the school committee does each month. It's a really easy, quick way to build some momentum, build some support, and appreciation for what you all do. Considering all the information the school department currently provides to you, how informed you as a parent feel, you'll see that the majority there feel somewhat informed, some feel appropriately informed, and others feel informed most of the time. Those are pretty standard numbers, nothing to be alarmed there. Certainly, you know, if there's a little bit more help that you can do to move them into the appropriately informed category, that's always a good thing. How important is it that the school department provide consistent and clear information for you about programs, projects, and events? And you'll see that they feel it's extremely important and very important. And how satisfied are you overall with school communications efforts? You'll see that they're 50% are satisfied, and that's a pretty good number to have. You've only got about 30% that are either satisfied or dissatisfied. If you can move 10% of that number into that satisfied category, that would be pretty good. And this is what I love to show people, and in all the districts this pops up. Oftentimes we see something, and I'll pick on the Valley Breeds. And typically we'll say, oh, it's in the Valley Breeds, everybody saw it, oh my gosh, what are you going to do? Well, that's where they get their information from. But when you look at the Facebook pages, you look at the school websites and school email and the other numbers up there, or even TV news, you realize that people don't watch TV news anymore, or don't get their school information there. Even less so with radio. But really, your social media, your website, your email are the biggest areas to make sure that you're keeping your parents and the community informed on things. And again, these are the ones they currently use. When you look at this is the second one, which of these tools would you prefer to see the school department use? There's the other ones that's always interesting to me. That we're all on text messaging now. We're all texting our kids, we're texting our parents, we're texting our friends. And you've got almost 50% of your parents surveyed saying, yeah, text me the school information. You also see that school email is still extremely popular. And then a little bit more interesting, you still see that Facebook is at 33%. And then you look down to the TV news or to the local news, and you see that those are at less than 10% or less than 5%. So sending out a press release is great in some senses, but really, if you can post it to Facebook and put it on your website or email at home, it'll be a lot more effective, and that's kind of where your parents are hoping you can do. And this one, what information are they specifically looking for? They want school department updates, they want student news and information, and they want calendar events and listings. I tease the administration that when you look at administration and organizational management updates, you get less than 1%. The parents just don't care about the superintendent. We all think we like them, but you can see that's not what they're looking for.
That's weird, that the 60% rationale reasons for decisions.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times what we hear is, well, we didn't, you know what I mean? So it's almost doesn't match what we know to be the case out there. You know, that's, I just find that interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think when I look at that, it's, I think what they're asking for is if you can provide the information ahead of time for them, they'll make it, you know, they'll be less likely to question the decision making. And then, you know, one of our favorite questions to ask is, all things considered, North Smithfield offers my child and children a quality education and healthy and safe environment. And you see that you've got almost 60% strongly agree with that. And you get 3 out of 5 parents to agree that strongly. It's great. You've got really almost 5 out of 5 parents think they somewhat agree and strongly agree. Again, overall, they really have a pretty strong appreciation for the school system. Parents feel they're an equal partner in the child's education, which is also really a good indicator of how they feel about the school system, the school leadership, and the school committee. And again, we're pushing them to do a good job of communicating with me, taking out that either disagree or agree or disagree. You see that they push to somewhat agree, which again is better than somewhat disagree. And then we got, again, at the data points here, we got almost 310 parents that responded. I would say that as part of this process, we also met with a number of students at the high school focus group there. We met with a number of about 15 teachers and leadership team members at the high school, had a similar cohort at the middle school and a similar cohort at the elementary school to make sure that we didn't leave any stone unturned. And some of this is not reflected in this particular slide.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yep.
Resident of North Smithfield, no children currently enrolled in North Smithfield schools. There's 1 person.
How'd they get that? Like, did you?
We put this on the website. We put it on Facebook. So we want to cast a wide net as
It
possible.
was
So just parents?
an email directly to parents as well.
Well, that's why I'm saying to parents, I'm just surprised at that.
I had hoped to get
Residents.
more. I'm sorry.
I just would have hoped more residents might have responded.
I had hoped to get more residents or not parents without, adults without kids as well. And then here is just another demographic question: how many kids are in the school? And then, did we hit the right socioeconomic groups? It looks like we did when we looked at the demographic data. The age cohort, education cohort. The one that I want to just fast forward to, we got a really good response across the board here to get those numbers up. And as far as statistical accuracy goes, we hit way above the threshold we needed for this, meaning that we could do this survey again tomorrow, and do the survey again next week, or do the survey again in 3 months, and you get almost the same exact numbers within a plus or minus of 5%. So that's our little update on that aspect of this.
Can you go back to the previous slide? I just want to see the demographics that you asked.
Sure.
So are you able to look at how parents responded based on how they answered these?
We could break that down pretty easily. This is most of the time we do these types of demographic questions just so we make sure that we've accurately captured the same percentages of the community. So we'll look at the census and say, okay, we're close on the college degrees, we're close on the own versus rent, we're close on the number of those types of things.
Right.
I'd just be curious to know, so for example, if the mode of communication changes depending on the education level of the parent, things like that.
Okay.
I'm just kind of curious. I
Yeah,
know-
that's easy enough for me. Let me try to see if I can pull that out for you.
Yeah. Okay.
I have a question, just on the, we talked about the statistical relevance of it, or the accuracy, but clearly, this is just measuring people, this is only assessing people who have kids who are currently invested in the school. This isn't really a snapshot of how people outside of the school system feel about it, right?
Right, this is the parents, or which might say your current customers.
Well, so I want to, again, 315, we've got more kids. There's still probably, I know why statistically, without going into too much details,
Sure.
but obviously, that's not even half the number of kids we have. Even if you have 2 or 3 kids in the school, there's still like probably 60% of the people with kids in the schools who didn't respond. I mean, how do we know that they're just not, I know we don't know, but a lot of them might just say, I'm just sick of it, I don't feel like answering it. And we have like there's a whole segment that we may not have captured.
Yeah.
And you feel very confident that we have captured it.
Yeah, we're all creatures, to keep this in the simplest form, we're all creatures of habit, and we all kind of follow the crowd. And when we get to the statistical numbers, you've got a total data pool of, I think you said, how many students?
About 1,600.
1,600 students in the district, so you've got 3,200 parents, and or thereabouts. And if you've got 358 respondents, that gets us to over a 10%. Actually, well, let me back up. It's 3,200 parents, but we would look at that number as 1,600 households. And so when we got 358 households out of that 1,600, that's about a third of the total population of this particular cohort. And so that's why statistical analysis experts far greater than me will tell you that if you get 10% or 5% of the target group, you're going to get a pretty accurate description. But we got almost 35% of that target group. That shows us that the other 50%, even if we were to survey those, even if we tracked them down and forced them to survey that, they would get very similar numbers within plus or minus 5%.
Okay.
Nobody likes filling surveys. So we already lose a lot of people when they see the survey